For Milwaukee, Sam Bonda, Josie Johnson, Josie Noble, Caddy Goba, Natalie Schmitz, Bella Lipsky, and Kara Erdman is the starting lineup for the Panthers. Now for Wisconsin, looking at what they've got going. We talked about it's a lot of faces out against Chicago State. This will be a lot of the similar faces we've seen. It is Mimi Collier we see here there in the middle. Allie Andrew, Charlie Furbringer, Grace Egan. Kristen Simon is the libero. It is Carter Booth out of the middle, and Una Vahagic is also in there as an outside hitter.
Good crowd here at the Fieldhouse as well.
One of the best atmospheres in college volleyball. The Badgers up to number 6 in the latest rankings, trying to find some momentum. Some early skids on their schedule. The opening loss of the season was to Texas, a 5-setter against Kansas, but now they're trying to find their stride in the rest of this non-conference slate. A couple of sweeps over the weekend against UC Davis and Chicago State. That latest one, got to see a lot more of what this entire program can give to you this season. The freshmen, the sophomores being able to get in there for the Badgers. And once again today, Wisconsin going not necessarily with their normal starting rotation, seeing some different names in different places.
Yeah, in that previous matchup, we saw a lot more of Madison Quest, Natalie Wardlow, and the libero, Anaya Warren.
They go to Collier on the first swing of the day, and the Badgers are on the board, 1-0. Just perfectly in system. Furbringer to Collier. That's going to be what Wisconsin's going to live and breathe with this season, excuse me. Kristen Simon first on the line for the Badgers. Swing out of the middle block and kept alive by Furbringer. Bump set by Andrew. Swing from Collier again into the back row, dug out by the Panthers. Set by Johnson. The swing from Vanda. Egan from the right side, blocked, kept up, and the dump is over. There's Natalie Schmitz getting involved and gets her first kill on the overpass. Gives the service back to Milwaukee. Furbringer sets again for Collier. Point Wisconsin. So back and forth early on here. No one really getting a true rally going. As now Grace Egan with the topspin serve and an ace. Saw her flash that a little bit at the Kohl Center against both Kansas and Texas. And has it going early here against the Panthers.
After their sweep against UC Davis, Sheffield was very impressed with Egan's coaching, or Egan's serving, saying it was world-class serving that you guys saw tonight, and it was something that stood out to him.
From the back row, point Wisconsin. That's Una Vahagic. And now the Badgers starting to find their groove. It's 4-1. 3-0 scoring run with Egan at the service line. Topspin serve again, places it in the back corner. Point Wisconsin, and Egan on a tear from the line. Can't place that one any better. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. Another ace, 3 aces on this service run. Timeout Milwaukee. What a weapon that is to have if you're Wisconsin. Full service run here, a 5-0 scoring run for the Badgers, 3 aces for number 32.
Currently her season high for aces is 3 in their previous game against UC Davis, so 1 more and she's already beat her season high.
Going to be a big weapon to have for Egan. Goes back to the top spin. As this one's received well by the Panthers. Schmitz a bit out of system. Furbringer sets again for Collier, but that one a bit long. They're looking for a touch, won't get it. Point Milwaukee, but
Sheffield, no hesitation.
Play. The closest to it was the freshman middle blocker, Josie Noble, coming over to try and seal that block off. And I think it was that right hand that got a piece of it, and Grace Egan stays at the line. Goes back to the topspin off the tape, but received well. Set by Johnson, kept alive by Egan. Furbringer, the setter dump with the left hand. Point Wisconsin. 8-1 and a 7-0 scoring run now for the Badgers. Finding points in all forms in the early going. But that one a bit long from Egan. Ends the service run officially and ends that one with 3 aces, ends with a service error.
Great service run, though. Gave Wisconsin a lot of momentum and quite a bit of a lead on this Panther team.
Sam Vanda at the line for the Panthers. Set by Furbringer on the slide. It's point Wisconsin as Allie Andrew got the touch. And serve goes right back to the Badgers. It's Mimi Collier. Dug out by Erdman. Schmitz over the top. Point Panthers. And this Milwaukee offense, when they're trying to move with fluidity, they're going to Natalie Schmitz. She's subbed off for a serving sub in Milica Tomic, and immediately a service error. 10-3 Badgers in the early going, and Milwaukee just not really finding much to do with momentum. As it'll be Natalie Wardlow in to serve for the Badgers. Tomic sets out of the middle, dug out by Wardlow. Going to be a free ball as Viagic just has to get it over. Out of the middle, right at the feet of Egan. A swing out of the middle by Josie Noble. The freshman middle blocker getting in on the action.
Noble only 12 kills on the season, that being her 13th.
Put it right where it needed to be, and now she gets the serve at the line for the Panthers. Egan receives. Furbringer back to Collier out of the back row. Kept alive. Roll and a block, but still alive. A free ball. Booth sets. Furbringer, the swing from Viagic. Point Wisconsin, 11-4. And that'll be the second timeout of the set.
And Viagic, 243 hitting percentage on the season so far.
And Charlie Furbringer at the service line. For Furbringer, 5 assists and that setter dump to her credit. 2 digs, and see what she can do a bit out of the back row as she will get the serve. Typically at the start of the order, and immediately some bit of diciness there for the Panthers. Now Booth gets in on the action, but a diving dig by Erdman into the net. Point Wisconsin, as Milwaukee just seemed all out of sorts on that point. So Furbringer stays at the line.
Furbringer is one of those all-around players. 36 digs in the back row so far this season. She's all over the court.
Miscommunication. Now Egan's going to have to take this one for the back row. It's dug out by Milwaukee. Swing from the near side. Blocked by Egan. Point Wisconsin. 18-4, all Wisconsin still. Furbringer at the line, off the tape. Tomic sets out of the middle. Furbringer keeps it alive, and Booth's able to send it over. Set back to the near side, blocks there. Furbringer to dig out of the back. Vijagic off the top of the tape and gets the point for Wisconsin. Extends their lead back out to double figures.
And you look at two big names on this Badger team, Charlie Furbringer and Mimi Collier, both chosen AVCA 2025 D1 players to watch for this season.
Furbringer remains at the line. That one had to be a tough play. And a block for Wisconsin. Carter Booth out of the middle finishes that one. It's 15-4.
Booth saying earlier this season that their team is a very competitive group of people, and Kelly knows how to push their buttons to make them come together and play as one.
Wisconsin looking for a touch, but won't get it. It's a service error for Furbringer. And kind of as of late here in the first set, the only way to get in Wisconsin's way is let them get in their own with those service errors. That's number 2 for the Badgers. Simon has to dive for this one. A bump set from Vijagic. Egan with the swing. Point Wisconsin. Now it's Egan having some fun with the swings. Her first kill of the night.
I would not want to be in her way.
Vijagic off the tape. Bump set again over the block. Simon able to keep it alive. Furbringer sets again for Collier. Point Wisconsin. Mimi Collier, her 4th kill in 6 swings, hitting .667. And just no one able to match what Collier brings on the outside. As this one is over, no touch by the Badgers. They were all over that one. Milwaukee just not finding any sense of comfort here in this first set. Badgers continue to roll 18-5. Vijagic, another low serve. Tomic with the set, a nice swing on the slide. As Bella Lipsky, another one of these middle blockers for the Panthers, getting in on the action. Just the 3rd kill for these Panthers, hitting in the negatives as a team. Now a chance to get things going from service run of their own, but Carter Booth with the swing. It'll be a free ball from Johnson. Simon, the bump set to Furbringer, and Booth terminates. 19-6 Wisconsin.
We've seen a little bit against teams like this in Chicago State that the other team gets a little bit of momentum off of Wisconsin service areas, but once they get in a little bit of a run like this, it's hard to shut them down.
And here's Kristen Simon with an ace from the line. Badgers are first to 20, and with not much of a contest, 20-6. That is ace number 4 for the Badgers. Simon's first. Simon sends this one to Furbringer, and Andrew just able to push that one over. Wasn't really with the timing, but Andrew with a clean push. 21-6. Simon stays at the service line, trying to finish this one out. Johnson sets near side for Schmitz, and it's tooled off the block of Egan. And Schmitz gets the kill, 21-7. Sends it back to the libero, Kara Erdman, at the service line, but Grace Egan terminates. Goes right back to Erdman's way. And now the Badgers have Grace Egan, who's had 3 service aces tonight, 3 points away from a set 1 victory.
Yeah, and I think Kelly Sheffield says it best when he spoke about her saying, when you've got a jump serve like hers and an arm like hers, you can string points in a hurry.
Make that ace number 4 a new season high. And what a run she's been on over the last couple of matches. Point away from set point. Sends it up and away again. Ace number 5 for Grace Egan here in set number 1. 6 total for the Badgers. It's set point. See if Egan can get this done from the line all by her lonesome. Sends it up and away off the tape. Erdman able to receive. Bump set. And the swing from Schmitz into the net. Point Wisconsin, 25-7. They control set 1 from start to finish.
In the past few games, we've seen a lot of service errors from this Wisconsin team, but completely opposite script today. Service aces from Grace Egan specifically.
To set number 2. We talked about this in set number 1. There's a lot of new faces for this Wisconsin team. 10 total new players for the program in total. Some freshmen, some transfers, some players who have had college volleyball experience, trying to kind of get them all in line with what this Wisconsin program has been. The expectations have been trying to get back to that stage, to the Final Four, to the national championship. Something that's well in this Wisconsin program set, and their goals in the immediate and far future as well. This one, bit of a miscommunication there in the back from Vajagic and Simon, and was in Milwaukee with the first point here in set number 2. And it's just those unforced errors. It seems like it's the only way you can slow Wisconsin down.
Yeah, and besides that, Coach Sheffield has talked a lot about this team's resiliency throughout things like miscommunications. He says they do a really good job at connecting with one another, communicating, and trying to move on to the next play and leave it behind them. On the opposite side, we have this Milwaukee team who their coach says is a very young team at the net.
Collier terminates and gets the side out, and the service goes back to the Badgers. Collier leaving off right where she was at set number 1. 5 kills, 7 swings. Wisconsin has been able to find some much needed efficiency here in this one. A service error though there from Simon. Just service error number 3 compared to the 6 aces. I think you may take the risk reward here. That one unable to be fielded cleanly by the Panthers, as Andrew will get credit for the kill. And they're back within 1 and get the service back to Grace Egan, who had 5 aces. If you missed it, 5 aces in set number 1. Trying to find that consistency from the line. Overpass kill, Alicia Andrew. And it's tied up at 3 here in set number 2.
Another look at that. There was no stopping that hit.
And it all comes from the line, and Grace Egan. The serving clinic, there's the broadcaster's jinx, the service error. As the lead goes back to Milwaukee 4-3, but you talk about the versatility here for Grace Egan. You can use her on the service line as well as her efficiency as a hitter. As Wisconsin ties things up again, Mimi Collier with another kill, 6th kill leading the match. It's 4-4 here in set number 2.
Coming into tonight's matchup, Egan with 21 digs and 29 attacks. So efficient all around the court, and as we've seen tonight, just amazing at the line.
Well, Collier gets her shot at the line, starts things off with a service error. That is number 5 for the Badgers on the match. Starting to creep up towards that 6 aces mark. As here might be an ace for the Panthers, as Vajagic couldn't keep it on the board, or on the court, excuse me. And there's ace number 2 as Josie Noble at the line for the Panthers. 6-4 Milwaukee, closing in on the amount of points they had in set number 1, but now the serve goes back to the Badgers, a service error. Kind of feels like this match has been, the points have been won and lost at the service line, as Addie Horner comes in as a serving sub.
Service errors have definitely been a thorn in this Badgers team's side.
Horner with the dig. Vajagic over the block, kept alive. Swing from the far side, blocked. Another swing, another block, and this time it's terminated by Carter Booth. 6-6 in set 2. Take another look here. Just going to be real difficult to get it past Carter Booth. But it's Bella Lipsky who's able to do it that time. And now it's the Panthers with as many points they had in set number 1. They've got the lead, 7-6 in set 2. Back and forth, the Badgers really haven't had that strong service run that they were able to have in set 1. Furbringer in system with the slide to Carter Booth. And now it's the Carter Booth show here in set 2.
Haven't seen a lot of slides from this Badger team in the season so far.
They've been able to utilize their middles today with Booth and Andrew. And now Furbringer at the line. Swing over the top of the block, might have been out, but Furbringer plays it nonetheless. Vajagic over the top of the block. Now it's going to be a free ball here to be played for the Badgers. Furbringer sets for Egan. Point, Wisconsin. They've got the lead, and they are able to do something here with a bit of a service run of their own.
Getting that momentum is so important, especially with how many service errors there have been already in this set.
Furbringer stays at the line, pops this one over. Set by Tomic, and the swing from Bella Lipsky again ties this one up at 8.
Lipsky coming into this game with 32 kills and hitting a .328 on this season so far.
Goes with the slide that time. There is some length to be had here on this Milwaukee roster, as Furbringer has to opt for a bump set, and Egan unable to find that one cross court. And now the Panthers back out in front. It's 9-8. Josie Johnson stays at the line for the Panthers. Simon receives. Furbringer just pushes this one over as Collier. Now Schmitz blocked. Vajagic and Booth combined to tie it up once again. It's 9-9.
Bit of a different pace from the last set to this one, where Milwaukee only had 7 points and now we're tied at 9.
Una Vajagic at the service line. And a service error now matches Wisconsin's ace number. 6 aces, all 6 of them coming in set number 1. Now it's the errors are starting to pile up here in set 2. Furbringer sets Booth out of the middle, off the tape and out. Point Panthers. And Kelly Sheffield opts to call his first timeout here in set number 2. Panthers much more in the swing of things in the second set. Only way to get in Wisconsin's way is just hope they have some unforced errors. That is the case here in set number 2. 7 total errors between the line and on the court for Wisconsin, as Milwaukee has taken advantage, but not for long with a service error of their own. Brings it back within 1 point, and now the service goes back to Wisconsin with the freshman libero, Kristen Simon, at the line.
We saw in their game earlier this season against UC Davis that the Aggies were able to capitalize off of those serving errors and took their second set into extra points.
Schmitz just has to pop this one over. Furbringer with the pancake. Egan similarly keeps this one alive for Milwaukee. Now it's Andrew out of the middle. Point Wisconsin, all square at 11 again. Wisconsin out of that timeout quickly ties this one up. Athleticism on both sides of the court. Andrew able to finish it.
Andrew had a .488 hitting percentage coming into this game.
Furbringer with the dig. Now Collier with the swing and gets the kill. Wisconsin back out in front. It's a 3-0 run for the Badgers.
21 kills on the night.
Hitting .500 as a team. Just .357 on the set. Limiting those errors will be crucial, but a block there from Alicia Andrew. Her first block, and now 6 kills for Andrew.
The Badger block has always been legendary, and Andrews and Booth are continuing that.
Collier off the bump set. Free ball for the Badgers, a tough one to play. Now bump set for Egan. Point Wisconsin, tooled it off the block. And some magic words must have been said by
head coach Johnson's always positive even in losses, saying that even though they may not win, it just helps them grow and develop as they get further into the season. And we can see that just from set 1 to set 2.
Milwaukee still hitting in the negatives for the match. Triple zeros for the set. And Kristen Simon still at the service line as part of this run for the Badgers, almost with an ace there. And a block again by Andrew, combining with Collier, taking advantage of the Milwaukee errors again. And that one all Andrew. Keeps this run alive, and now Wisconsin's found their run in set number 2. Overpass again. Point Wisconsin, they're taking advantage still. A 7-0 run for the Badgers. And number 7 at the line. Johnson sets for Schmitz. Blocked by Andrew. Point Wisconsin. An 8-0 run now for the Badgers.
Egan's reaction to that says it all. There was no getting around Andrew.
Johnson sets again, blocked but tooled out. And Milwaukee able to get on the board finally after 8 consecutive points by the Badgers. They get a chance to try and will themselves back into this set, but they're going to need a run of their own. Egan sets cross court for Collier. Kept alive by Erdman. Setter dump by Johnson with a pancake by Furbringer. Collier from the 10-foot line, kept alive. Set out of the middle. Collier bump to Furbringer. Now Egan in the net. Oh, it's Milwaukee with the net violation. and the point goes to Wisconsin, and a second timeout called by the Panthers. Grace Egan with one of the swings of the night.
And it feels like we've just seen this Badger team wake up after their timeout in this second set.
That they've been allotted to this point. 2 in set number 1, now 2 before the Badgers have even reached 20. And the service goes back to the Badgers. Still on an 8-1 run. Who's to say they can't find one of their own to finish off set number 2 again? It's Grace Egan. Goes to the top spin serve again. Off the tape. And an overpass kill again by Alicia Andrew. It's been the Andrew show all set number 2.
All I can say is this Badger team definitely ate their Wheaties this morning.
Johnson able to get underneath this one. Pops this one over. Andrew Simon just pushing this one over is Collier. What isn't going this Wisconsin team's way tonight? It's 20-12 Badgers.
And I mean, that's just a beautiful display of her volleyball IQ. You don't always have to slam it into the ground. She saw the open spot, and all you need to do is get it right over their head into that back corner.
What a serve again by Egan. Milwaukee able to keep things alive as Schmitz tools it off the block. That really has been what Wisconsin's limited Schmitz to tonight. We talked how she came off of a career night against South Alabama, but that's really all she's been limited to. 4 kills, and most of them coming off of tool blocks. Andrew off the slide. Sets this one to Furbringer, who sets for Collier. Point, Wisconsin. If all else fails, just get it to Charlie Furbringer, who can get it to Mimi Collier.
Some substitutes coming in, but just from seeing the past 3 games of UC Davis and then Chicago State to now, you can see the unification of this team beginning. They're communicating more, they are reading each other's minds. It's looking like an exciting season for the Badgers.
A couple of freshmen check in, as you alluded to there, Izzy, as Madison Quest, Natalie Warlow will check in for Wisconsin.
And the Panthers, despite not having a win in the season, back row hit from Egan, another kill on the night.
It's that back row attack that Wisconsin's been trying to develop in the early going. You've seen it from Collier, you've seen it from Egan. There is athleticism to be seen on this Wisconsin team, and Egan gets it done, gets the service back again to Wisconsin. Off the top of the block. As Wardlow sends this one over, we'll try it with a little bit of finesse. Furbringer sets for Quest off the top of the block. Point, Wisconsin, 23-13. And now Mimi Collier still at the service line. 2 points away from ending set number 2.
Despite just the sheer talent of this Badger team on the court, it's also been exciting to see their energy with one another.
As Ella Schutz able to get it through the block that time, and now Wardlow and Quest will come off. Andrew and Vagic will return. Again, the Badgers just 2 points away. It's a 23-14 Wisconsin lead. Josie Noble at the service line. Egan has to receive this one. Andrew sets back to Egan. Out of the middle, Furbringer sets, and now a bump set for Simon. Vajagic at the net, a joust once more. As that one off of Andrew and out, point Milwaukee. It's an odd point altogether, but Milwaukee able to stay composed long enough to find a point.
Going back to my statement of earlier, despite not having a win and looking at the score now, these Panthers were chosen to finish second in the Horizon League.
Trying to test themselves going into conference play. Set point here for the Badgers. It's Addie Horner with the chance to finish it in set number 2. Shots blocked, point Wisconsin. It has been a block party here in set number 2, and it's Carter Booth who finishes the job in set number 2, a 25-15 set victory for the Badgers. It was the middles, it was Andrew, it was Booth.
And of course, Grace Egan all around.
Badgers leading 2-0 as we head into set number 3. We'll take a break from the UW Fieldhouse. Be right back here. Milwaukee just trying to find some momentum. A long week for the Panthers continues here this weekend back in Milwaukee. Carter Booth over the top. Point Wisconsin. And no one able to take on the 6'7" middle blocker from Denver and Carter Booth. Kristen Simon at the top of the service order. Johnson sets back. Simon able to keep that one alive. Bump set by Furbringer. Collier tried to roll it over the top, but just a bit too much finesse. We talk about this, sometimes you don't need all the power in the world. You need just a bit more there.
A little bit more.
Just a bit more, but tied up at 1 apiece. As Erdman at the line for the Panthers. There's Collier, and she terminates.
No problem with the power on that one.
Went right back to her. We talk about that's going to be the bread and butter for Wisconsin this season. If you want to beat Wisconsin, you have to limit. You might not be able to eliminate her, but you may be able to limit Mimi Collier. As Grace Egan with the service error now puts Wisconsin with more errors than aces.
Yeah, and looking at for opposing teams stopping Mimi Collier, this Badger team's also using these few past games to iron out some issues with their team. Looking ahead, that was a right side kill from Andrews.
Andrew tools that one off the block, off the slide.
Looking ahead for this Badger team, Georgia Tech and Marquette coming up soon.
They don't get much easier for Wisconsin going forward. As Collier from the 10-foot line able to be kept alive. Johnson, this one just gonna be a free ball. Furbringer tried for the dump, gets it over, and a point goes to the Badgers on the lift, the double contact, excuse me.
Bit of an unusual point there. But allows Collier back to serve.
Badgers able to double their lead, up 4-2, and now Collier to the line. Johnson, the bump set back to Schmitz. Collier with the diving dig. Now Vajagic, the block for the Panthers is there. Annie Eschenbach able to get over to that right side and get the service back to the Panthers. Eschenbach and Noble able to combine there as Tomic will get things going for the Panthers. Vajagic denied once again by that combo of Eschenbach and Noble.
A little bit of life from this Panthers team. Looks a little bit more like the beginning of the second set.
Tomic stays at the line. Simon on the receiving end. Furbringer to Andrew, tips this one over. Back to Eschenbach, trying to get things going offensively, and she does. A 3-0 run now for the Panthers as they go out in front here in set number 3.
Coach Sheffield never looking too happy, but doesn't look completely impressed.
Furbringer back to Collier at the 10-foot line. Point, Wisconsin. Evens things back at 5 apiece. As Wardlow will check in as a serving sub. It's a chance for a run at the line. Erdman on the receiving end. Tomic out of the back. Collier able to dig that one out. Vajagic over the top. Swing on the near side. Tooled off the block. Furbringer not quite in position as Ella Schutz able to take advantage that time. 6-5 Milwaukee.
Milwaukee off to a strong start in this set.
And Milwaukee certainly has in the early going in all 3 sets. They've been able to show some fight early, but at some point Wisconsin has been able to take over as Booth and Vajagic out of the middle. The block party continuing here at the Fieldhouse.
In previous sets, it seemed as though the Panthers were able to capitalize off of the Badgers' serving errors, whereas this set, it kind of seems like it's their own power that's allowed them to gain some momentum.
Furbringer to the line. They go for the ace there. And Booth and Egan there on the block again. 7-6 Wisconsin. Now Milwaukee back hitting in the negatives. And there's an ace for Furbringer. The 7th of the match for the Badgers. And it's been that high risk, high reward strategy from the line. That's starting to help Wisconsin in their favor. It was helping a lot more early. Tomic back to Eschenbach. Bump set from Furbringer to Vajagic. Point, Wisconsin. And Furbringer continues the run. 4-0 scoring run for the Badgers. And that one, no one there on the receiving end of that pass from Vanda. And Milwaukee takes a timeout here in set number again. In contention for a national championship. That has always been the goal here in Madison. Booth out of the middle. No rust out of the timeout. And Booth having a strong set number 3. Now her 4th kill.
Yeah, Booth has been making her presence known tonight in the middle.
Furbringer continues to run at the line, no more, as that one is into the net. 8 aces, but 8 errors now for the Badgers.
That has definitely been a weak point for this Wisconsin team. Service errors allowing the other team to capitalize and go on runs of their own.
Furbringer sets for Egan, who just has to push this one over. Goba now sets, tries to get that one over the block, does Schutz. From the back row, Mimi Collier terminates. Point, Wisconsin. And Collier now her 20th swing of the night, 13th kill.
Joey, you talked about this Badger team having a lot of new players and trying to kind of see where they fit. And you can tell that Collier has been a strong, steady hitter and blocker for this Badger team.
Now Collier and Booth combine once again. That block really starting to come together, and Milwaukee has struggled with it here in sets number 2 and 3. A 6-1 run, make it 7-1 run for the Badgers as Una Vajagic at the line. Pulling that one off the block, but kept alive by Furbringer. Egan over the top of the block, Erdman, the bump set. Just a free one over now for Collier. Cross court, point Wisconsin. What a defensive play by Furbringer, and then able to keep it alive and get it to her number 1 target in Mimi Collier. A double-double on the night, continuing in action for Furbringer.
27 assists and 13 digs.
Collier again. Make it 28 assists for Furbringer. And a timeout once again for Milwaukee. As the Badgers, a long week continues. They'll continue this run this week against the James Madison Dukes. 3 games in 3 days against the Dukes, and then the Ball State Cardinals, and then again their in-city rival in the Marquette Golden Eagles, for welcoming in DePaul and Grand Canyon as well. Una Vajagic stays at the service line. A 4-0 run for the Badgers, 10 points away from closing out another sweep in non-conference play. There's a service ace. Una gets in on the fun.
Una, the team leader in service aces this season so far with 8.
Shuts from the 10-foot line. Furbringer sets back for Egan on the right side, tools it off the block, kept alive by Goba. Rolls it over the top of the block. Simon now sets for Egan. Point, Wisconsin. Threads the needle of 2 back row defenders there for the Panthers. As Egan is up to her 8th kill. And Vajagic still at the line. And no longer there is service error number 9. But again, it comes back to the high risk, high reward. You'll take 9 aces. They may come with a couple errors though as well. Milwaukee still hitting in the negatives for the match. Collier terminates. Furbringer closing in on 30 assists as Mimi Collier is up to 15 kills on the night. That's Kristen Simon.
609 hitting percentage.
Well, Simon finds service error number 10. It's been a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde situation for the Badgers. Furbringer looking for assist, 30, and gets it with Alicia Andrew. What a night! 8 kills for the transfer from Baylor.
The middles tonight of Booth and Andrew have just made their presence known.
And now it's Grace Egan. What a serve again. Collier right at the net. Erdman to Johnson. Now Furbringer back to the 10-foot line with Egan. It's a bit long. Looking for a touch. They won't get it. It might be too late in the game to implore Kelly Sheffield to go to the card. Appears that's still the case. And a couple of subs will come in. as Sam Vanda will be at the line for the Panthers. 19-10 in favor of Wisconsin, and there's a service error for Milwaukee. That's number 5 for them. And it hasn't come with a high reward for the Panthers, just the 1 service ace for them on the night. Badgers 5 points away from the win as Madison Quest will enter for Una Vajagic. And Mimi Collier at the line. Johnson sets here, a dig there for Collier as Andrew was trying to get that one out of the net, couldn't do so. And point Milwaukee.
Coach Johnson encouraging her team over on the sideline.
Elica Tomic at the service line for the Panthers. Vajagic terminates. Point Wisconsin as they make their subs once more. Vajagic, her 5th kill of the night, hitting .250 on 12 swings. 4 digs and 3 blocks as well as Wardlow approaches the service line. Wardlow gets that one to Furbringer. Now Quest over the top. Swing out of the back. Wardlow, a diving dig. Collier from the back line. Point Wisconsin.
Her 16th kill of the night.
Just part the Red Sea and Collier will take care of business. Badgers 3 points away. Wardlow keeps the run going. Furbringer pops this one over. Point Wisconsin. By any means possible.
Setters don't always get as much credit as they should, but Furbringer has been outstanding tonight as well.
2 kills on a couple of dumps. Furbringer with the lefty swing to set up match point. Take a look at that one from Furbringer as Wardlow approaches the line. And an ace to finish it here from the Fieldhouse. 10 aces for the Badgers tonight as they take a sweep of the Milwaukee Panthers. 25-7, 25-15, 25-11 in short order here from Madison.
Yeah, you had the service errors from this Badger team, but the aces, the hitting, the blocking made up for it times 10.